This is Mamuni. Thank you so much for being Amar Baba.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to discuss how to solve an adjusted trial balance. So let's get started. চলো শুরু করা যাক. So let's go through the problem. চলো আমরা প্রবলেমটা দেখি. Now see the problem. This is an unadjusted trial balance. You're asked to draw the trial balance up correctly after rectifying the obvious errors made. The name of accounts are given here and the amounts are given here. What are the adjustments? Let's see. Now let's go through the adjustment. Number 1. The debtors and creditors balances have been interchanged while entering them in the trial balance. That means debtors এর ব্যালেন্সটা ক্রেডিটার্স এ লেখা হয়েছে, ক্রেডিটার্স এর ব্যালেন্সটা ডেটার্স এ লেখা হয়েছে। দ্যাট মিন্স ডেটার্স এর ব্যালেন্সটা ক্রেডিটার্স এ পোস্ট করা হয়েছে আর ক্রেডিটার্স এর ব্যালেন্সটা ডেটার্স এ পোস্ট করা হয়েছে। তো আমাদের কাজ কি? আওয়ার জব ইজ টু rectify. Understood? Number 2, a similar error has been made with the balances of purchases and sales account. That means purchases is amount by mistake sales এ রেকর্ড করা হয়েছে, sales এর amount by mistake purchases এ রেকর্ড করা হয়েছে। Our job is to rectify. Number 3, a credit sale of rupees 2000 was not entered in the books by mistake. A credit sale হচ্ছে 2000, সেটা রেকর্ড করা হয়নি, সেটা এন্টার করতে হবে। Number 4, a credit purchase of 1000 was not entered in the books by mistake. তো সেটাও এন্টার করতে হবে। So let's do the problem. So what is the first account? Capital 22,000. There is no adjustment for capital, so we can straight away write capital 22,000. Let's write why capital is credit, because capital comes under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here the proprietor is the giver of the capital. Okay, let's see the next account. The next account is drawings 5,000. Since there is no adjustment for drawings, we can straight away write drawings. Okay, so let's write drawings. Drawings is 5,000. Drawings 5,000. Since drawings has a debit balance, and that is the reason we have written drawings in the debit column. Why drawings is debit? Because drawings falls under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, when the proprietor withdraw cash, he is the receiver of cash. Understood? So drawings will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. Purchases account 10,000. Purchases 10,000. So there is an adjustment for purchases, so we can't write 10,000 because purchases and sales interchange হয়ে গেছিল amount. Do you remember? Purchases amount sales এ লিখে দিয়েছিল, sales এর amount purchases এ লিখেছিল। তো sales purchases amountটা কত হবে? 20,000. So let's write 20,000 in bracket. See, a similar error has been made with the balances of purchases and sales account. That means interchange. তাহলে সেলস এর অ্যামাউন্টটা পারচেজেস এ হবে, পারচেজেস অ্যামাউন্টটা সেলস এ হবে। সো সেলস আছে রুপিস 20,000, তো সেলস এর অ্যামাউন্ট 20,000 হবে পারচেজেস এ, আর পারচেজেস 10,000 হবে সেলস এ। ওকে, লেটস রাইট পারচেজেস 20,000. So we won't close purchases because there will be other adjustments also. Let's see the next account. Next account is sales 20,000. So sales at 20,000, we won't write till at 10,000 because the balances have been interchanged. Sales amount 10,000 hobe, purchases amount 20,000 we have already written. So now we'll write in bracket sales 10,000. Let's write sales 10,000. We won't close sales because there will be other adjustments also. Let's see the next account. The next account is debtors 25,000. But we won't write 25,000. Instead, we'll write 30,000. Debtors and creditors amount has been interchanged. So debtors amount 30,000 hobe, creditors amount 25,000 hobe. Okay, because the amounts have been interchanged between debtors and creditors. So debtors will be 30,000. Let's write debtors 30,000. But we won't close debtors because there will be other adjustment. Let's see the next account. The next account is creditors, 30,000. But we won't write 30,000 because the amount has been interchanged between debtors and creditors. We'll write the amount of debtors, 25,000 in creditors. Let's write creditors, 25,000. But we won't close creditors because there will be other adjustment, 25,000. Now let's see the next account. The next account is carriage inward, 1200. Let's write. There is no adjustment for carriage inward, so we can straight away write 1200. Okay? Carriage inward. Carriage inward, 1200. Carriage inward has a debit balance, and that is the reason we are writing in the debit column. But why carriage inward is debit? Because carriage inward comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. So carriage inward will be debited. So let's see the next account. The next account is carriage outward, 800. Since there is no adjustment for carriage outward, so we can straight away write carriage outward 800. Carriage outward. By the way, why carriage inward has a debit balance? Because carriage inward falls under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, carriage inward is an expense for the business. Carriage inward is a transportation cost. So, it is an expense for the business. So, carriage inward will be debited. Why have we written carriage outward in the debit column? Because carriage outward has a debit balance. Why? Because carriage outward falls under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, carriage outward is a transportation cost. This is an expense for the business. So, carriage outward will be debited. Understood? Let's see the additional information. See, we have written all the accounts. Now, let's see the additional information which is still left. See, number 1, debtors and creditors balances have been interchanged while entering them in the trial balance. This is done. We have rectified. Number 2, similar error has been made with the balances of purchases and sales account. This has been done too. We have rectified purchases and sales. Number 3, a credit sale of rupees 2000 was not entered in the books by mistake. So, credit sale means what? Sale 2000 by mistake record hoyni. So, sale plus 2000 ashbe. Credit ache, so debtors will also appear. Always remember, debtors arise as a result of credit sale. যখনই credit sale হবে শুধু সেলে রেকর্ড করতে পারবে না। যখনই credit sale হবে শুধু সেলে রেকর্ড হবে না, debtors-এও রেকর্ড হবে। Always remember, debtors arise as a result of credit sales. Credit sales mean when a goods are sold to a customer on credit. Credit sale তখনই হয়। Debtors arise as a result of credit sale because when you're selling goods on credit, debtors arise. Understood? So, যখনই credit sale থাকবে, sale record হবে plus debtors record হবে. Understood? So, let's write 2000 in sales as well as in debtors. You're selling goods to a customer on credit. So, he becomes your debtor. Understood? Sales 2000 and debtors also 2000. So, sales will be 12,000. Total sales will be 12,000 and debtors will be 32,000. Why sales has a credit balance? Because sales falls under real account as well as nominal account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. Here, when goods are sold, goods go out from the business. Sales, that is the reason sales account will be credited. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains credit. Here, when goods are sold, cash comes in. So, sales is an income for the business. So, sales account will be credited. Why debtors has a debit balance? Because debtors falls under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, debtors is the receiver of the benefit. So, debtors will be debited. So, let's see the last additional information. Last additional information is number 4. a credit purchase of 1000 was not entered in the books by mistake. But a credit purchase হয়েছিল rupees 1000, that was not entered in the books by mistake. তার মানে কি দুই জায়গায় লিখতে হবে, একটা পারচেজে আর একটা ক্রেডিটার্সে. Why? Because creditors arise as a result of credit purchase. So we have to record in two books, one purchases and one creditors. Let's write creditors 1000, purchases 1000. তোমাকে অ্যাড করতে হবে পারচেজের সাথে 1000, ক্রেডিটার্সের সাথে 1000. লেট মি টেল ইউ ওয়ান মোর টাইম. যখনই ক্রেডিট সেল বাই মিস্টেক রেকর্ড হবে না, তোমাকে সেলে একটা রেকর্ড করতে হবে, ডেটার্স একটা রেকর্ড করতে হবে. আন্ডারস্টুড? আর যখন ক্রেডিট পারচেজ রেকর্ড হবে না বাই মিস্টেক, তখন তোমাকে পারচেজে রেকর্ড করতে হবে প্লাস ক্রেডিটার্স রেকর্ড করতে হবে. আন্ডারস্টুড? সো লেটস সি দ্য টোটাল অফ পারচেজেস. Purchase will be 21,000. So the total purchases will be 21,000. Why purchases as the debit balance? Because purchases falls under real account as well as nominal account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. When goods are purchased, goods come into the business, so purchases account will be debited. According to nominal account, when goods are purchased, cash goes out. So purchases is an expense for the business. So purchases will be debited because according to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Understood? So what is the total creditors? 25,000 plus 1,000, that is 26,000. So why creditors has a credit balance? Because creditors comes under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here creditors is the giver of the benefit. So creditors will be credited. Understood? So now we have recorded all the adjustments and we have rectified everything. Now let's calculate the total of debit column and the total of credit column. Okay. Now the total of debit column is 60,000 and the total of credit column is also 60,000. See, the trial balance did tally because the total of debit column is 60,000 and the total of credit column is also 60,000. So the trial balance did tally because the total of debit column is equal to the total of credit column. Understood? So I hope you understood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your precious time. I sincerely hope this was useful. And before I fade out, please remember, no one is the reason of your happiness except you yourself. Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe and stay blessed always.